Okay, we are joined now by the winner of the first dual race tonight, and that is Brad Keselowski. Brad, with the race going on right now, we'll go right to questions. So if you have one, please raise your hand, and we'll get you a mic. And we will start with Kelly. If you would just want to go ahead and holler, Kelly, you're close enough. You're good.
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, I'm going to keep learning about these cars every time I get in them, and there's a lot to learn, and they keep changing so much. We came down here for the test, and our car was not very good. Didn't have a lot of speed, drove really bad, and I knew we'd made a lot of changes from the test to come down here and learned a lot accordingly, and I was trying to kind of reset my brain from what I had at the test session, because what I had at the test session was, hey, if you can just make 200 laps, you'll be doing good. So we made some good changes, Matt McCall and the team did, and I think I needed to put those to the test for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, there's always little nuances, Kelly. I think, the bumpers or something. I'm more worried about the hood flaps than I am the bumpers, and how they bounce back and forth and come out of the cars. But, in theory, it's the same for everybody. So it's just another thing for us to manage. And that's our job as race car drivers, is always to understand the risk versus reward of every move we do, and to be right on the edge but not over it. So that's everything from how the car handles to the mechanicals of the car, and keeping it in one piece. And we want to push all the mechanicals to the edge the same way, and the driver has a huge influence on that.
Zach.
Zach Sterniel with FrontStretch.com. Brad, I've two questions. One, I'm curious if it was a benefit for you guys to only have 4 cars at the end in that little pack there, and you were able to kind of slingshot there for the lead. What was that a benefit of having just a small group of cars there?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't hurt. I mean, if there had been more cars, I don't think I would have done anything different. But the risk proposition was a lot lower when you have that many cars, because I think if it didn't work, I was going to finish 4th. So that didn't hurt for sure.
And the second, I was curious if there was any kind of spark of emotion or anything, seeing the 2-car behind you coming across the line right behind you.
No, not particularly. I'll go watch it on TV though, and maybe it will then.
Thanks.
In the moment, I just want to win, so don't have a chance to be sentimental.
Okay.
We'll go to Jenna and then Dustin.
So I was hey Brad, congratulations. First of all, how's that feel?
It's just really good, and it's just so important. There's a lot of guys and gals on my team, that never won a race before. The company hasn't won a race in 5-6 years now, 5.5, something like that. And that's any kind of race. So it's really important to get that winning habits built up, and the only way you can really do that is to go win. So that builds confidence in each other, and builds expectations, and not just the expectations were already there. It's probably the right word. It builds a reality that those expectations can happen. So, we had a really poor showing at the Clash, and we needed something to offset that, and this is a great offset for that.
So, do they get accustomed to believing they have a car capable of winning the Daytona 500?
Well, they should. Yeah, that should be what comes out of today. The 500 will be a lot different than this race. I think the big thing we're noticing is as the pack increases, the cars change pretty dramatically. And then, of course, on the 500, you'll have the hotter temperatures because it'll be during the day. The good Lord willing, it doesn't rain on us, which looks pretty good for that. So that'll be a whole different set of circumstances that we'll have to adjust to. But I think I've got a really solid team. Most of the team is from the 1 car last year, and they're built on a really strong foundation, and this is something to just keep going from.
And sorry, I apologize, I have one more. You said you don't really have time to get sentimental, but there is this element with your father. Do you give it thought,
Yeah, I haven't yet. Somebody asked me in Victory Lane, and I had my girls with me, and we were doing the hat dance, and so I didn't get to think about that. But Yeah, it was special. We did get to put the decal on right before the start of the race. You know, Ron Drager from ARCA, he had decals made and asked me if I wanted to run one. I said, hell yeah, and came in right before the start of the race and then put it on the car. So, you know, I told my dad last year, because I knew he was pretty sick and, you know, his prognosis was he wasn't going to make it through the summer. I said, Dad, we're going to win the Daytona 500. And he saw how that went. So it's, you know, it's bittersweet that it didn't happen while he was still alive, but still glad it's some success.
Go to Dustin, then Bob, and then upstairs.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Why did you make the move with 4 to go as opposed to waiting?
Well, because last year in the 500, I ended up in a wad down here. Not that I was okay with that, but I figured maybe I wouldn't end up in a wad with 4 to go. I thought maybe my push would be a little more handleable. Is that a right word? Handling? But handleable, something like that. Where's Nate Ryan, damn it? Manageable. Thank you. Manageable. And so I got a good push from Chase Briscoe. It was just the right amount, not too much. And then I was able to just, you know, kind of block all the lanes. And my spotter, TJ, did a good job to manage that for the next, was it 2 or 3 laps? That honestly can't remember how that all played out, but it was perfect.
Also, some drivers mentioned they were kind of a little surprised that typically when you go single file here, everybody goes up top. And everybody stayed to the bottom, and said they even noticed it in practice a little bit. Is that something you notice? Is that a quirk, or is that just, I mean, is that something that might play into Sunday, or
no, it definitely
conditions?
will play into Sunday, Dustin. The cars are built symmetrical, and you know, last year's car was built asymmetrical. And so this car is built symmetrical, and specifically how that affects it is when the cars were asymmetrical, the side draft off the right side was really, really sensitive, and the side draft off the left side was not sensitive at all. Well, was minimally sensitive. And so you never wanted to kind of expose your right side. And if somebody got underneath you, you could, you know, come back down and grab their right rear quarter panel and just stop them. And so that naturally created this, you know, kind of gravitation towards the top lanes at a lot of the plate tracks. With this car being symmetrical and that not being the case, you know, I think the racing will be significantly better because that high lane freight train won't be there. And I felt like early in the race, you know, I was behind Ryan Blaney for a while early in the race, and I was ready to go. And he stayed calm, which was smart on his part, I guess. But he stayed calm, but I felt like we could have pushed and made the second lane work. But I think all of us wanted to get through that pit stop and stretch our legs out and take it from there.
We'll go to Bob.
Bob Honkers, Fox Sports. Were you the one who was able to put the sticker on the car, or were you already in the car?
The team did right before I got there.
So did you see them do it?
No, I didn't.
Was there any emotion?
No, it happened while I was in driver intros, but that's okay. There's no pride in authorship for me, but pride is that it was on there.
And do you guys know kind of how to bump draft yet? There's a lot of talk about the different bumpers and the foam in there, and whether you really know the feel. Or are you
Did
still
we know
learning?
it before? I mean, you know, Bob, shoot, we came here the last 7 years and wrecked 30 cars a weekend. So I don't think we really knew it before, you know, based on that. So I think we'll pick up as much as we can pick it up, and then we'll push it to its limits.
Go upstairs to the press box.
Bruce Martin with Speed Sport. Brad, as an owner, how would you assess the job the driver did tonight?
Well, he won't get fired, which is good, you know. Got a little job security there. But, you know, there's some things I could have done better, I'm sure. But was good at being patient, putting ourselves in position at the end. And I give a lot of credit for my crew on executing the pit stop really well to put us in position where we could kind of control our own destiny there. So then for me, it was just finding the right opportunity and capitalizing on it, and you know, working with my spotter. That was important once we did get the lead to manage it and keep ourselves there.
And in spite of last year's finish in turn 3, the fact that the drivers right behind you were all former teammates, did that kind of help or hinder how you thought the race may finish, realizing that, you know, it's a qualifying race. There's no reason to have any urgency.
Yeah, I mean, there's still urgency. There's, you know, 10 points on the line and a trophy and a check, right? So we wanted all those.
Anything else from the press box?
Nothing else from the press box.
One back here, I think.
Thank you. Mark?
I can hear you, Mark. Go ahead.
Mark Carroll, PRN. Brad, you talked a moment ago about, winning mentality. How do you establish and what's the balance for a team that has struggled to say it's about winning? Yes, we can be happy about a top 10 or top 5, but we can never be satisfied unless it's a win, which is a mindset that hasn't obviously been there for a while. How do you establish that balance?
I just, for now, it's setting the bar really high, Mark. It's having people that hold those same beliefs, surrounded by them, and then executing around them. It's pushing in every way and every day, not accepting less than our maximum potential. And I think that's what we saw today was our maximum potential. So there's a really good group of people here. We've assembled a great team, kind of in the dark, and now we get to show it.
Dustin?
Dustin Albino, JC.com, here in the middle, Brad. Your brother actually pointed this out on Twitter, but there was a moment where it was you, Briscoe, Cindric, Blaney, Reddick all in the top 5.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's like a reunion tour.
Obviously ties to the truck team. Like,
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Or is
No,
there
I didn't.
any significance
No,
to
man,
it?
I'm getting in the car. I'm just, you don't have a chance to think about that. And honestly, I can only see one in front and one behind anyway. So, no, that's cool. That was kind of had ourselves our own little duel, didn't we? But I'm really happy for each one of them and their success. And, I played a role, but it was pretty small. They're doing a lot of their work on their own to get where they're at and doing a great job at it. No problem.
Any final questions for Brad? Oh, up here to Deb, and we'll wrap it up there.
Brad Deb Williams with RacingToday.com. When Edsel Ford came into Victory Lane, did that surprise you? And what did that mean to you?
Well, I didn't know he was here, so it kind of surprised me that way. Like, you're here on a Thursday? Usually those guys must have been really cold in Michigan. Really cold. I feel you, Ed. So I came down here a couple weeks ago. No, I was happy to see him. He's a great guy. He's been so supportive of me and kind. And, we need that support. We can't do this without, a great manufacturer support. And we need those guys to be excited and hungry and engaged. And when you win, it brings them to victory lane, right? But it does more than bring them to victory lane. It brings them to the table with all the things behind the scenes that we really need to be able to compete at a high level. So I told those guys we're going to win races this year, and I'm not sure they believe me, but it's good to see them in victory lane and be able to validate it really early. Thank you.
All right, Brad. Well, congratulations on tonight's win, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. Hope to see you again on Sunday.
I think he's going to call in. Are you doing it live in there? Oh.